Hello and welcome to another edition of Mailbag. What is Mailbag? Well, Mailbag is a feature of the channel where you guys leave lots of comments on the channel and I attempt to answer those comments, or if I can't answer those comments, I throw it out to you guys who have more knowledge on some of this stuff than I do. So let's get into the first mailbag of this session. Remember, like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Go over to Instagram and follow me there. Go over to Facebook, follow me there. That's where the normal notices are. And consider becoming a Patreon. Next one comes from Yamaha Motif XS. And this was in response to Roland released the Roland Fantom EX upgrade, an SMR I did in November 2023. And Yamaha writes, I updated Fantom 7 with Fantom EX upgrade. Here are my reviews. The ACB Jupiter 8 sounds fantastic, but you have to decide whether you want to use this or the V piano, as both are in zone 1 only. So that's the point of having a great Jupiter ACB if you can't use it. Use the V piano at the same time. I don't understand why they didn't put ACB in zone 3. The JD 800 is outstanding model expansion. I already had Enzyme, unfortunately already paid the $199. I wrote to Roland Cloud and they are supposed to refund the difference between the discounted price and the $199. And as yet this hasn't been refunded, but I'm still waiting. Supernatural Piano 3 is crap, like all the others in my opinion. Unfortunately, everything that applies to Supernatural Piano has been removed from it. No string resonance, pedal noises, etc. If this is what we want, only V piano can do it, limited to zone 1. The effect thing is good, but there is no major upgrade in the features. Ever since Fantom was released, I've been waiting for the opportunity to create my own arpeggios. This has not been resolved. The sequencer could be improved. Polyphony is still the problem. We pay for the extras, but the bottom line is it doesn't change. Fantom polyphony still has limitations. I don't think the arpeggio issue will ever be resolved. None of the preset sounds use arpeggios. Only step LFOs. You cannot save an arpeggio for the sounds because it will affect the entire zone 1 or any zone you want to use it on. So Fantom is improving the sound arsenal. I think Fantom EX is improving the sound arsenal. Many new things have been added to the Fantom, but the workflow spoils everything. If I have to distinguish between the Montage M and the Fantom, then at this point in time the Montage M is the winner. The Montage M does not need bug fixes because it already knows everything we can expect at the moment of release. If there is an update for it, we will only be a partial update, not a fix. AWM2 always provides new sounds, while Fantom has not changed the 20-year-old PCM sounds to more modern sounds since then. Now that, I think you would agree, is a fairly detailed breakdown of somebody who's just loaded the Roland Fantom EX upgrade onto their Fantom. And the way I read that is they're not impressed. Now, maybe other Fantom users out there can give me guidance. I know when you go and watch Dr. Mix do this, he is uber excited about the new Fantom EX upgrade. He would be because he is, you know, at the end of the day, he is in league with the manufacturers and they give him the machine and he has to say nice things about it. But there are many of you out there that seem not to be thus impressed with this EX upgrade. So leave your comments below because I'm always really interested to see what other people think about A, what does it sound like? Does it really improve your sonic capability? B, is it appropriately priced? And C, if you bought the Enzyme engine, are you completely pissed? Next comment or question comes from David Bone in response to the Roland S-50 second keyboard strip down and rebuild part 2, restoration part 12, in 5 parts, 4 parts and 3. Video I did in November 2023, and I'm being quite flippant about that, but it is a bit of a mouthful, isn't it? Reading that back. And David writes, is it the same keyboard as the D50 or the Roland D50? And this was a lot of research to actually come up with this, because I was looking to see if I could buy a second-hand keyboard for my Roland S-50, because even though I've repaired it, the original keyboard, I would have liked to put in one that wasn't damaged, because this one, something fluid has ingressed onto the keyboard, onto the circuitry, probably Coke or beer or something like that, which turns quite acidic and eats the copper tracks. And I'd repaired the copper tracks, but I was still like, well, you know, even though I repaired it and I washed the keyboard with neutralising water and an acid neutral solution, you never know whether you've got everything off it or not. Anyway, but after much research, it would appear that the Roland S-50 and the D50 actually did use the same keyboard. The difference between the two is the location of one of the connector blocks. One of the connector blocks on the D50 is actually closer to the centre than it is on the S-50. But in essence, as far as I can tell you, it's exactly the same connectors. If you go and look at the keyboard frame itself, the metal frame that the keyboard sits within, all the connector points are all notched out for the D50 as they are for the S-50. So you have no problems with actually putting the thing on there. All the holes are in exactly the same places. It takes the same rubber grommets. Everything is the same apart from this connector block location. And there's plenty of slack in the connector cable to allow you to move from the S-50 location to the D50 location. I'm not so sure there would be on the D50 going the other way, but then I can't remember what it looks like on the inside on the D50 because it's such a long time since I had that machine open. However, I have put the new keyboard in. I have put the D50 keyboard in, and spoiler alert, if you haven't seen the last part of the S-50, because of the power board problems, I'm still unable to confirm it is fully operational. And I actually have, sitting behind me, I thought they were sitting behind me. Yeah, there they are. I have a second-hand power supply sitting there because I think that's the problem, and I also have 2 brand new power supplies to try in the S-50 to see if I actually can get a modern workaround and ditch the Roland power supplies completely. They're medical grade power supplies, so they've got very, very smooth outputs. Anyway, we'll see what happens when I get round to that piece of work, which is probably not going to be for a few weeks yet.